Take बिना break.
Download Tak app.
Welcome to the Christmas special episode of Inspiration. And he's been the Santa Claus of Indian cricket for a good 25 years, giving us gifts every time we asked of him. 100 international hundreds, 35,000 international runs, the World Cup, and most importantly, bundles and bundles and bundles of joy. Every time you put out a sock, Sachin Tendulkar would give you a gift. Yes, he is my gift for you for this Christmas on Inspiration. Thank you so very much, Sachin Tendulkar. Thank you so much. You know, how do I start? Just about a month back, you were in Kolkata for the pink ball day-night test match. And the moment you entered the ground, the whole ground erupts Sachin, Sachin. This is 6 years after retirement. You had come just to inspire the spectators. It seemed as if 70,000 were still connecting to you like it's yesterday, you were still playing. How is it real?
Do you know who started this? It was
Sachin.
Yes. It was my mother. My mother, when I was literally, I must have been 5 or whatever, and playing downstairs with my friends in front of our building.
Wow.
After 7:30 or so, when it got dark, mother would want me home, and I didn't want to leave the playground. I just wanted to be with my friends and play as much as I could. That's when she would be standing in the balcony going, Sachin, Sachin, you need to come out. That's how it started. So after that, what happened on the field is Almighty's blessing.
But when you still enter, I mean, tell me this. I don't think any sports person in any part of the world can claim this. You enter and there's a cricket match going on, but it's as if you are a cricket match in yourself. I mean, Sachin, and I was there inside the ground just to feel that pulse. This is something different.
There was a terrific atmosphere, without any doubt. You know, during my playing days, I was superstitious and I didn't want to count my runs. I felt that, you know, the moment you start counting your runs, they don't come to you. And same thing with Sachin. Don't count, just soak in whatever it is. That atmosphere is just unbelievable, and that's what I enjoy. It's a blessing, and however much I thank people, it's never enough. So I'm not counting, guys.
Don't. Let's not touch wood. But honestly, Sachin, in this inspirational journey, if I take you down, at the age of 16, I mean, now when I see with concussion, with all of these rules coming in, there were no rules. Someone gets hit at the age of 16 against Wasim Akram, Waqar Younis, Imran Khan in Pakistan. How did you do it? I mean, when you think back, how did
you won't believe that was one game where my brother had come. My brother Ajit, he was there in Lahore as well as Sialkot, and I got hit in Sialkot in the fourth test match. Our second innings, and my brother was sitting just in front of the dressing room, and when I got hit, I took some time to recover, and then within, I think, 15-20 minutes, there was tea time. And in those days, you know, if you knew someone, you could get inside the dressing room. My brother had come to just check on me, and I told him, I'm okay to bat. I'm not going to sit in the dressing room. I'll go out and bat. So I was used to getting hit, and sometimes it's like boxers. Boxers also practice getting hit. I think cricketers also sometimes need to practice getting hit, because once you get hit, and then to be able to go out and play requires a lot.
See, Sachin, that's what I want to know. I mean, how is it? See, the biggest thing that we have to overcome in our lives, not you, everybody, is fear. Did you ever feel fear? I mean, 3 fast bowlers coming at 145 kilometers, a 16-and-a-half-year-old person.
So the only time I doubted myself was after my first outing, and it was nothing to do with fear of getting hit, but the fear or maybe lack of confidence was there. I felt maybe I'm not good enough to play at this level, because I was playing possibly the best attack, and I felt I was not comfortable, and I was slightly late on the ball. And then slowly, after having spoken to a few teammates, Chandu Bode sir was there, who was our manager at that time, experienced cricketer, and I got to spend time with him. So all these people around me helped a lot. The transition was so dramatic. Just few months ago I was playing school cricket, then I played first class cricket, I got those hundreds, got selected, and within 15-16 months I was playing for India. So that period just flew by, and suddenly from 80-82 miles,
it was 95 miles.
I went to 90-95 miles, which was a big challenge. And
playing in Pakistan, I mean, the whole, did it occur to you at any point in time that here was an adversary? I mean, I will ask this question again, because World Cup matches, 6-3 out of them, you have won man of the match, single-handedly winning stuff for India. But was that anything that ever occurred to you, playing in Pakistan, goodness gracious me, making your debut there?
I was only 16 then, so all I wanted to do was play cricket for India. It didn't matter where, when and how. I just wanted to play cricket for India, and that was my dream. I was so happy when I got the cap.
Yeah, I wanted to know.
And then the first day out on the field, we fielded first. I still remember, we got back to our hotel room. I was sharing a room with Salil Ankola, and we both were so tired. We both had made our debut. Salil also played that match. We got back to the hotel and we slept for 2.5 hours. We were tired, physically tired and mentally. That level of concentration and to play at that intensity. You don't get to do that, in domestic cricket, to be honest. Here, the level of playing was completely different.
And that cap, Sachin, I mean, when you got that cap or you were told that you're playing that game, can you recount that for me?
Krish Srikanth, who was our captain, Chika was always, as we called him affectionately, Chika was always supportive. And the confidence that he showed in me, my ability, was incredible. Always full of encouragement. I said, he would pat on my back and he said, "Kuch nahi, tu jaake khel, maar." And that was, unbelievable confidence for me, because Indian captain coming to me and he's telling me that you are going to play tomorrow. You just play your game. Don't worry. The way you've played Ranji Trophy and school cricket, exactly that is what you need to go out and do. And there were so many senior players in the team who never made me feel that I don't belong to this dressing room. So the practice sessions were also made special. I was playing with my heroes. Kapil Dev was there. There were so many big names. Azhar Manjrekar had a successful West Indies tour. All in all, the team combination with Kiran More cracking jokes non-stop was something that I used to look forward to.
If I fast forward and take you to England, 1990, and that first 100, I mean 100 international hundreds, and that was the start. Do you sort of remember the first press conference also, when you had to address the media, that bottle of champagne which you...
That was, in Old Trafford, and everyone had scared me in the dressing room, because I hadn't faced foreign media. Before that, Indian media, I had given few interviews here and there, but foreign media and post-match interview, I had never faced that. So everyone kind of scared me in the dressing room ki teri aaj vaat lagne wali hai. They are going to ask you all sorts of questions, this and that and all. And that time Mr. Madhav Mantri was our manager. So I said, "No, don't worry." He put his arm around me and he said, "Don't worry, I'm going to be there with you. Nothing will happen. You just have to talk about the match and nothing else."
If that was step number one, I mean, where you were actually told the world that this man is different, was Perth. I mean, we keep talking about fast wickets and great bowling attacks. I have spoken to a number of cricketers worldwide, and everybody tells me that 100 at Perth, at the Wacker against that Australian attack, told the world someone's arrived.
I enjoyed, actually. I enjoyed playing on tracks where the ball came onto the bat, because by nature I felt, something which came to me naturally was to attack. And that is how both Achreka sir as well as my brother Ajit taught me. Said you need to go out and play shots to be able to score runs. Perth, by then I was promoted to number 4. That 100 to me was the most important 100 of my life, that particular point, because it changed me as a cricketer. It to me, suddenly that transformation, overnight transformation, I felt that I could go in any part of the world against any attack in the world and face that challenge. I am ready for that.
Immediately there was an awe. People started respecting you, looking at you in a very different light. I mean, here was somebody. I mean, for the longest time, Australia would roll Indians over. Here was India's answer to Australia. So from our standpoint, the show, the title of the show, you became an inspiration overnight at 19, and that sort of starts the next part of my interview is pressure. We started telling you, you go out there and win. You go out there and score 100. Without you, we'll switch the television off. You go out there and do everything for us. When did you start to feel this? And because Sachin, actually there was a point when we would switch our TVs off when you got out. Even I did that, which is
glad I was
stupid.
On the field then.
Yeah, I mean, but
I didn't know all these things, to be honest.
It's the truth.
And people tried telling me all these things. I was not prepared to accept that, because cricket is all about the playing 11, what the team does in the middle. It's not an individual sport, and I always believed in that. And when it comes to pressure, I liked that pressure. The pressure was there because I had done something in the past, and people started believing in me. And when people start believing in you, it's up to you whether you take that as a positive thing to happen to you in your career, or another obstacle, another hurdle to overcome. But pressure which helps you to perform better is always good, and I like that feeling.
But against the best in the world, I mean, now if I fast track to 98 and that period in Sharjah and before that, I mean, we have celebrated Sachin Tendulkar genius, come on, but the hard work, can you tell me about it? I mean, for me, you equal to preparation, equal to success. The hard work is, people think you are a genius, you can go out there and do it. Can you give me a peek, and my viewers a peek, youngsters who are watching it, what has Sachin Tendulkar done to get there?
It's not always about the talent. Everyone is talented at a particular level. You get to international cricket, yeah, I mean, everyone wants to go out, get those 5 wickets or go out and score a big 100. But then how you prepare yourself, not just physically but also mentally, both combine, how can you be ahead of the opposition is what matters. I still remember at Wankhede at Brabant Stadium in 1998, I had scored a double 100 against Australia, and everyone was congratulating me. And I said, Vaughan hasn't bowled a single ball round a wicket, and I know for sure at a crunch moment he is going to go round a wicket and use that weapon. I need to prepare myself for that, and rightly so. In Chennai, you saw at a crunch moment he goes round a wicket, and that's where I felt my preparation came in handy, because I had found out few options. If I want to just defend, if I want to pad the ball, then what should be my technique, and if I want to attack, then what are my options.
Alan Donald, Glenn McGrath, Wasim Akram, Shoaib Akhtar, Waqar Yunus, Shane Warne, I can keep going. That era, these were the bowlers, and to get consistent success against them, take 1999, I'll give you a specific example, 1999, that match against Pakistan, yes, you're a genius, taken, yes, you've prepared. How do you combat that level of physical pain? You could not move, right? I mean, that one match you did not come out to take the man of the match award. That physical pain, and to overcome that degree of physical pain for the country is something extraordinary.
As a sportsman, you have to learn to leave behind your failures and your disappointments, and you pack your kit bag fresh and go to the next venue, and then everything starts from ball 1 again. You can't, even if you are successful, you still have to start the next innings at 0.
2 questions, one specifically about that 100 in Chennai, 136. When you bat like an absolute champion, the team hasn't won. I have given it my absolute all, 136, I'm gone, but the team hasn't won. How do you cope with that disappointment? That because each of us will give our all, maybe in an exam, in a business scenario, in a journalistic scenario, whichever, we face failure. How did Sachin Tendulkar deal with disappointment and trauma? And the second thing is personal, the World Cup. 3.5 days you went back. You went back after losing your father.
See, talking about the first disappointment, as I said earlier, that there are some, physical challenges, then you are met with some emotional challenges also. That was a tough period. I could admit here on the show that it was challenging. When it comes to 1999 World Cup and spoke about my father's demise, that was the most challenging moment, because when I saw Anjali in my room at some 2 a.m. or so, I knew something drastically had gone wrong, because India was playing Zimbabwe the next day in Leicester, and I clearly remember Robin Singh and Ajay Jadeja both were sitting outside my room. They didn't want anyone to enter my room at that stage, and my phone was put on DND. And when Anjali arrived, I knew something had gone wrong. And when she broke the news, and I really didn't know what to do. First of all, I did not believe. I said, "Are you sure this cannot happen?" Because he had recovered and he was feeling much better. And I flew back the next morning, and I cannot forget, that moment when I saw my mother, the rest of the family members. And after literally 24 hours, they all were of this opinion that I need to go back to England and join the team. And that is what even my father would have wanted. So for me to, to have that switch in my thinking happened instantly. I said, "No, you are going back, you are not staying here." And I caught the flight in, I think, 72 hours or so.
No, but one thing is, family saying go back, but you have to go out there and perform in a cricket game.
I know. And I was worried about my mother, the rest of the guys in the family. But when my mother told me, "Don't worry, I would want you to go out there and play and do this," I left. For England. And then normally on the field I never used to wear glasses, so I couldn't stop thinking about my father. So and then I just wanted to be focused on the game, and the rest of the guys also. I wanted everyone to be focused on the tournament and not this thing. So it was tough, to be honest, but the best part was my friends and Anjali. They made it a point that I was never left alone. After practice sessions, somebody was with me. After the matches that we played, somebody would come and spend time with me. I was never left alone to start, thinking about that again. So I think family and friends really helped me, along with the team, but more so my family and my friend.
2001, that amazing test match. We talk about VVS's 281. In fact, VVS was telling me the other day about this, the 281, Rahul's 180, all of that. And India 128 for 8 at the end of day 2.
Yeah.
Even the last day, tea break, 5 overs, 3 wickets, 15 runs. Shane Warne picked out in a googly which he did not pick. What could you not do on a cricket pitch? Question number 1. And tell me about that spell. Did you believe that you will do that? 5 overs, 15-3.
See, leg spin, whenever I bowled leg spin, I would only tell all the captains and keeper and whoever, okay, landing permission mil raha hai nahi. Because that was my kind of code word with the captain and the other guys. Where I would end up bowling full tosses and half trackers also sometimes. Because I liked experimenting. There was no pressure. I enjoyed bowling. So in the nets, everyone knew that I could bowl leg spin, I could bowl off spin, I could bowl seam bowling also a little bit. And I enjoyed. There was complete freedom to do whatever I wanted. And I told Saru, I'm going to bowl. Leg spin agar haath se chhuta barabar, so I think I can pick wickets. So let's see. I bowled couple of balls and I said, "Aaj landing permission mili hai, so I'll do something."
But that was an incredible spell. I mean, that actually turned the game on the last day. You and
I think,
Harbhajan Singh.
So Hayden was in good form. I got Gilchrist, another important player, and won. And by the way, of course, you should know, but somebody sitting here was the second highest wicket taker in that series.
Correct.
I'd got 3 wickets in that series.
Yes.
And the rest of the job was done by Bhaji.
Yes.
Who bowled exceptionally well. So, winning that test match was the possibly perfect ending for that test. Because of these 3 guys.
Indian cricket was not in the best shape with what happened before. People were starting to doubt things. Suddenly comes Australia, we lose in 3.5 days in Mumbai, except Sachin Tendulkar, the team did not stand up. 76, amazing innings, but we lost in 3.5 days. Then comes Calcutta, Australia 445, India 128 for 8. The stage was set, 16th victory. Suddenly that win comes. Can you tell me how important from the perspective of Indian cricket and world cricket that win was?
I still remember the press conference that I had had before that series started. At that time I was asked a question, do you think you can beat Australia? And I said, yes, we can beat Australia. Australian batting hasn't been put under pressure. They've been bowling so well, the batting hasn't taken that pressure. And when we put that pressure on Australia's batting, we will know exactly whether we can pull it through or not. And we did, not just once but twice in that series. So I was quite confident about our ability, and I genuinely believed that we could pull it through.
2003, that World Cup. I mean, 2 questions again. Have you ever played a more, 2011 I'll come to, but that Centurion game, Pakistan, political relations between the 2 countries not at its best. That match had a build up, it was on Shivratri day. 1 year, the whole country was like, you got to win that game for us, otherwise all hell will break loose.
The build up was massive. I still remember that.
Tell me about that 98.
I know, the build up was massive, and like you put it correctly, almost a year's build up. And I still remember before that match at Centurion, few nights I was tossing and turning in bed, thinking about how I'm going to play the first spell. Then when the ball starts reversing, what are my options against spin bowling, whether we'll bat first or we'll bat second, whatever, all those kind of preparations were going on. My subconscious mind had switched on. And when we got there to the ground in the morning, what an atmosphere. I've never experienced anything like that. It was buzzing, and then we have to chase 274, which was a big total, and possibly again the leading attack in that tournament. And the way we started, both Viru and I, it was
for once incredible. Tell me on the show, were you talking even during the innings? Tell me.
Yes, because Viru was telling me, Paji, aap pehla ball khel lo. And I kept telling him, nahi, main nahi pehla ball khelta kabhi, main always number 2 or number 4 rehta hu. Even number mere liye acha hai. Nothing like that, but I just kept pulling his leg. And then while walking down, we almost got to 30-yard circle, and I went ahead of him. I just looked at him. I said, "Main hi khelne wala hu."
That 6 over third man, which has been analyzed on television for 1,02,555 times. Tell me about that shot, that Shoaib Akhtar shot, 6, 4, 4.
You can't plan these things. The plan was, of course, the upfront spell was going to be the most important spell of that match, because we knew that with that bowling attack, they were going to come hard at us. And if we don't lose early wickets, then we are in the game. And the kind of start that we got off to, we were saying a lot of things, Viru and I, to each other.
Tell me.
Well, I can't say it here.
Don't use the words, but tell me, please, for once.
No, I mean, the best part is we follow each other's language.
As in Pakistan and India?
Yes. So sometimes, certain things are said so that they understand, and you play mind games. And it happened because, we could actually sense that they were sinking slowly but surely. And we could see that on the face. When you play against Pakistan, and it's without any doubt at a different intensity. You want to go out and win every match, but here also the atmosphere in the stadium changes immediately.
That game, if I know right, the physical pain, again, the cramps. Can you tell me how tough it was? Because you've hardly spoken about it. I mean, we celebrate the 98 of 78 and Sachin Tendulkar worshipped along with Lord Shiv on Shivratri Day, but the backstage, tell me about the backstage. And then the next game, 10th March, Sri Lanka, you weren't well, and that story.
Let me talk about the Pakistan game first, where it's the only time that I've taken a runner in my life. That was that World Cup match, because I couldn't even stand. You know, you could go and ask Andrew Leapers, who was our physio at that time. I struggled. I felt as if somebody had tied 500 kg weights here, and I just couldn't even stand. And that's when I decided. I tried, in spite of cramping earlier, I tried pushing myself, because I felt that, you know, before playing the ball, I know exactly what I'm trying to do. So I know that if I'm dropping the ball close to this area, then it's a quick single, and I get that head start even before I've played the ball. When it comes to that runner, you know, the runner is always going to react to what I have done, but my reaction starts sometimes even before I have played the ball. So in my mind, I've started that run, so I'll always be quicker. Even if I am at 80%, I'll still be quicker than my runner, and that's why I thought that I'll manage. And I took a quick single also at that stage, which wasn't a wise thing to do now in retrospect. But when you're out there in the middle, you want to push yourself as hard as possible. And it happened, and that's when I collapsed. I said, I cannot go on like this. And I tried standing up, I couldn't. We were playing Sri Lanka after that. And both were, I mean, Centurion as well as Johannesburg Wanderers, both are at a high altitude. So I felt my recovery also possibly took longer because of that.
But you even had a tummy problem, and you batted with tissue paper.
I had tummy problem because, you know, I kept having so much salt all the time, because I didn't want to cramp again in the next match. I mean, I had terrible diarrhea, and those are the challenges that you face. I mean, you just have to go out and play no matter what. If I was able to stand there and bat, I was always going to go out on the field.
You know, the 2003 was a batting masterclass of the highest proportion. 2003-04 winter Australia tells you what discipline and mental toughness is all about. I'll leave Sachin to tell me. I mean, not many people talk about that Sydney 100 as one of your best. Firstly, SCG. What is SCG? It's the Sachin Cricket Ground. You go and ask anybody in Australia. But that 241, 10 hours, 36 minutes, not one cover drive. Mentally, how is that possible?
Before we went to Australia, we had played a tri-series here in India.
In India.
Australia, New Zealand, and us. And I had done well. So I was in terrific frame of mind, and I said, okay, I'm going to go and, you know, make a statement. And then the series did not start off well. You know, some decisions which did not go in my favor kind of got disturbed because of that, and that also kind of affected my shot selection. I was trying to do something extra, and that's when before the 4th test match, my brother called me, and we would talk to each other every evening. And my phone call with my brother Ajit was, he said, first of all, please understand, nobody is getting you out. You are getting out because the shot selection is not right. There is nothing wrong in your technique, but you need to organize yourself mentally. I said, okay, I'm going to take that challenge with you. In this test match, nobody gets me out. And once I went on the field, the next challenge that I set for myself was, which was that shot which was getting me out. Big cover drive, because Australians had planned that strategy was to, you know, bowl 80% to outside the wicket keeper. I said, okay, let's see who loses patience first. And I realized that it is eventually, you know, discipline, all those kind of things. And then eventually what matters is not what you are, but what you are for the team. And I said, when I look at the scoreboard, I'm batting well, but I'm not doing justice. So it really doesn't matter my style of play, what I like, but what I bring to the table. for the team.
And they were sledging you, right? Even Brad Williams and people play that drive, etc., etc.
I was in my zone. It really didn't matter.
Second innings also not out. So you actually got 300 runs in that game without getting out. Did Ajit give you something after that or not?
No, we hardly spoke after that on the phone. So he would speak to me when I was not scoring enough runs or whatever. But whenever I did well, the conversation would be not much, hardly a minute or two.
Okay, Sachin, 2005, 6, 7. Tennis elbow and the 2007 World Cup. Sachin Tendulkar has also had failure and pain, by the way, and the number of operations he's had, from finger to head to toe to every place. How bad was tennis elbow? Can you make me understand? Because you made tennis elbow a household name in this country. How bad was it? How bad was the pain?
Oh, mine was really bad. I tried everything. I tried taking an injection, numbing this in the morning before the test match, but nothing worked. Nothing worked. And then the only option was to get operated. I was pushed in the corner so badly, and all my physio friends, doctors, everyone tried. But then, certain things need to be done, and
did you ever feel it? Did you ever feel it was running away from you? That
I felt during that period I had become really impatient. I wanted to try everything under the sun to get back on the field. And then when I realized that, after my surgery, I was not able to pick up a cricket bat, I was really depressed. And I would call my friends at 2 o'clock in the night, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I would say, well, come on, let's go for a drive, I can't sleep. And my friends would join me. The challenges were such. I still remember playing with kids. Just the other day I was playing with some kids who were playing with plastic ball and plastic bat, and it reminded me of my tennis elbow, because I was starting to again play with plastic bat, and with that I could barely hit the ball. And my first outing after 3.5 months, there were 12-year-old kids stopping full-blooded cover drive that I was looking to hit at literally 10 yards and 15 yards. And I thought my career was finished, it was done. And all I would pray to God was, please don't stop my career like this. Let me get back on the field again. And that feeling, I remember after 4.5 months, we played a one-day match against Sri Lanka in Nagpur. I can never forget that feeling. I looked up and thanked God for that moment. Said, thank you very much. This is all I wanted.
And 2007, Sachin? I mean, you face hardship. That was hardship of the highest order?
2007 was the lowest point of my career. I didn't enjoy that phase in Indian cricket at all, because we were not going in good direction, and I just felt there was something drastically wrong with Indian cricket. The thought process was wrong, and what we were wanting to achieve was not a common goal, and that needed to change. And that changed in 2007 itself. You look at post World Cup.
Correct.
Bangladesh and the sudden transformation, overnight transformation. You could see the body language on the field. You could see the energy on the field. You could see that cohesiveness, which was an element which missed.
Now to the high point, 2011, 22 years you waited?
We spoke about the lowest point of my career, and now we talk about the highest point.
So tell me, and before we celebrate the highest point, Sachin does an unthinkable and calls an Indian cricket fan. Why is Sachin Tendulkar? Because we as Indian cricket fans have put him on that pedestal for what he has achieved. Why did you call Sudhir Gautam into the dressing room? I mean, nobody ever would have imagined Sudhir was holding that trophy straight after the World Cup win. Phenomenal.
See, Sudhir is my fan, but he is representing everyone. If you see the tricolor in his hand, he is not alone. He is representing, I think,
1 billion people
plus people. And Sudhir was called on behalf of everyone.
So you were actually calling everybody?
100%. The trophy belongs to the entire nation. It is not about few individuals. It is about our nation, and that is the only reason I said, तुम आओ क्योंकि तुम support कर रहे हो. तुम्हारे से जो प्लेयर्स को एनर्जी मिलती है वो बहुत कमाल की energy है.
Tell me about that. I mean, being carried on the shoulders of your colleagues.
No, I thought I cried when I hugged Yuvraj. And that was the moment when I said, this is the moment. This is the reason I started playing.
Do you remember when you came back to the hotel, they sang that song, right? Yuvraj, Zahir and Harbhajan.
Yeah. So they all are decent singers.
What did they sing? What did Tujhme Rab Dikhta Hai?
Yes, they did. They sang that and embarrassed me.
Arey, come on. I mean, they actually sang Tujhme Rab Dikhta Hai for Sachin Tendulkar in that hotel room. And you put flowers and danced as well, right?
There were all kinds of celebrations. I mean, the floor, not a single room door was shut. And in every room there was champagne flowing, loud music, celebration. So I also danced. I normally don't dance much. So I danced with my wife. So we had a rose put here and we were dancing, celebrating that moment. I think it was the greatest moment of my life.
Now if I take you forward a little bit more, the same place, Wankhede, 200 test match. I don't think anybody could have ever imagined anyone can play 200 test matches, play over 25 years and at that level of achievement. And to have your mom come in for the first time, what would have that meant for you?
I'm speechless when it comes to explaining that. I don't know how to express myself. The last test match, of course, my mother hadn't seen me at all. I said, you need to come to the stadium at least once.
And here's Sachin.
No, to see why I used to leave home for so many years. You've seen me on television, that's fine. But you need to see me live in action once. I don't know, no one can guarantee how many runs I'm going to get. But just at least I could tell everyone that my mother has watched me play live once. And then West Indies started batting. She was about to go back, but another friend of mine, Avinash, who said that no, you should stay here. You never know, Sachin might be batting at the end of the day's play. And
you did.
And I did, yes. How can I forget the last over? Anyways, I was emotional. And then last over, I'm telling myself it's the last over. I look at the giant screen in the stadium and there is a close-up shot of my mother, which she wasn't aware of. And then suddenly she sees herself on the giant screen and that reaction. I said, guys, I said, please don't do all this. I need to survive this over. And then they move on to my brother, then they move on to Anjali, my whole family. So after every ball, I was thinking, now who's next? And I survived that evening, but I can never forget, those moments.
But you walked to that pitch. Now that for me summarizes the journey. I've seen retirements, you've seen retirements. You walked to that pitch and you did the pranam.
I think it's just a way of saying thank you for everything that the game has done for me and the game thought I was worthy of. Because I believe that certain things in life you need to value them and not forget what you are because of that. And that was my goodbye to cricket, because I knew that I was never going to. In a sense,
you cannot ever bid goodbye to cricket.
Hold a cricket bat and hit few balls, but when it comes to international matches, that was
35,000 international runs, 100 international hundreds. I can keep going, but first man to score a double hundred in ODI cricket, and Ravi Shastri's word, the Superman from India.
No, that was actually the last match of that season for me. I'd had a decent season and spent a lot of time in the middle, so my body was also not in the ideal shape. So before that match, I had spent about an hour and a half on a physio table with Nitin Patel, our physio. I said, Nitin, my body is really finished right now. I can feel that I'm tired and drained. But once I went on the field, cricket took over. I forgot about all those niggles and pains and various medications that you take before the game. All that had taken a back seat. First cover drive that I hit of Panel, and it wasn't even a full-blooded drive. I had just pushed the ball, and the way it flew off the bat, I said, oh, this is something really special. You don't know, something big is in store. And then I started timing the ball rather sweetly, I felt. And then, I don't know what happened, I just played.
And after that game, just to put it in context, all of us, including myself, putting my hand up, we messaged Sachin, congratulating him, and they had given Sachin a suite in that hotel. And my dear friend, he was actually scared of ghosts, so he did not sleep at night and answered all messages diligently, am I right?
I was awake also because I was tired, and also because of the room.
After retirement, you're now into your second innings. You told me at that time you wanted to spend time with family. You had hardly seen Arjun and Sara growing up. Now both of them are established. One plays for under-19 India, playing, knocking the doors, playing for Mumbai. The other finishing college in London, working there. Tell me about family. You as a father. Anjali has done enormous. But tell me about that.
So as a father, I want to do exactly what my father did to me. He gave me the freedom to be what I wanted to be in life. It was never that, okay, I'm a writer, you need to follow my footsteps. So for Arjun also, it was exactly the same thing. I'm a cricketer, doesn't mean that you have to play cricket. He earlier enjoyed playing football, enjoyed playing chess, and cricket started on his own. I mean, I never forced him into it. And so was the case with Sara also. Whatever she wanted to be in life, we supported, both Anjali and I supported her, and he said, whatever you want to be in life, don't find shortcuts, and that is exactly what my father told me. There, make sure that you give your best.
And Anjali?
I was doing well for India, and Anjali stood first in her exams. She's a gold medalist doctor, so her career was also flourishing, and she was going to reach a different level, but she decides to sacrifice her career so that we could have a family, because both of us, she knew that I had to travel, and then who's going to look after Sara and Arjun. So she sacrifices her career, she graciously decides to take that decision. I don't think things would have been the same without her contribution and without her graciousness. I don't think I would have been sitting here, no chance.
Final one before we wrap up, Sachin. I mean, you hopeful about Indian cricket going forward? It's a good team going forward. I mean, you enjoy cricket because you were there with me during the World Cup. I saw how passionate you are still. You're hopeful about this Indian team. We've not won anything since the 2011 World Cup. I mean, we need to win one.
See, we've been playing good cricket. Yes, there have been difficult matches at a crunch moment, but I think on the whole, if I see, we've been playing good cricket, and the side is looking balanced, and not just balanced at home, but even if we are traveling, I'm sure we'll travel well, because that balance allows us to play in any part of the world on any surface, and that is the strength that we have today. I think it should be utilized to its fullest, and we've been doing that. There are some teams who can challenge us. It'll be nice to see how we can go there and produce some quality cricket, which we are fully capable of. I think the team is ready for that.
So you are a foodie. You always loved food.
I enjoy food.
But Japanese food induction into the Indian team was thanks to Sachin Tendulkar. Everybody tells me that he got them into multiple cuisines plans for Christmas. I mean, do you still cook? I mean, you escape the city, Mumbai, and
I sometimes cook, but not that frequently. I have to be in that mood, that zone. Like in cricket also, you need to be in that zone. Cooking also a little bit in that zone, but I enjoy, it's relaxing.